there's certain things in society where it's obvious to people that people are just born to be it. For me, that's what entrepreneurship was. You got your perspective. I just want to be happy. Don't you want to be happy?
Welcome back to the Emirates Garden. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode of Sweet Life. But you know what is even sweeter? I get to hang out with Gary Vaynerchuk. Can I call you Garyvee or just
You
Gary?
can, absolutely. All of them work.
Thank you so much for spending some time with us
Thanks for
tonight.
having me.
I mean, what brings you to the Open?
Novak, the tennis, the passing of summer to fall. I'm a New Yorker, a Jersey
you can
boy.
feel it tonight.
Yes, the wind is coming. Look, this is one of the most important kind of iconic New York things.
Yeah.
You know, to me, not getting to the Open is almost like would be devastating. It's my true transition from summer life into the fall.
I mean, guys, we can feel the fall right now.
I feel it.
It's kind of like, especially when you grow up here, it's like Christmas, right? It's like this
100%.
thing that happens year after year.
And for me, I'm in the point of my life where I see a lot of business friends and associates here.
Yeah.
You haven't seen them because of the summer. COVID compounds that.
Yeah.
And I grew up a huge tennis fan. And
You did?
I did. And so, I mean, one of the few times I cried in sports that wasn't related to the New York Jets was when John McEnroe lost to Lendl here in '84, I think it was. And so, I grew up a very big tennis fan, and I'm excited to be here tonight.
So I just want to let everyone know, we both grew up in Edison before you moved. So big shout out to Edison.
Big shout out to Edison, New Jersey.
Did you play tennis growing up?
I did. I played tennis in Edison, New Jersey 3-4 times a day during the summer. And Oded Weinstock, if you're watching, Eric Godfrey, if you're watching, those are two gentlemen I played a lot of matches with in Edison, New Jersey. So yeah, I hacked. I hacked on the tennis court.
And so you're here tonight to watch Novak, is that
Yes.
correct?
I'm for me, immigrant, Edison, New Jersey, I very much associate with the underdog.
Yeah.
And when you think of the big three, or the big four if this is airing in the UK, when you think of that, Novak is definitely the underdog in the Nadal, Federer, Novak run. So I always felt a huge connection to him.
Yeah.
Plus, I always felt that he played with a chip on his shoulder.
A little bit, yeah.
Different than the other guys. Always spoke to me, has always been my favorite player of this era, and so I'm here cheering him on today.
What do you think makes you gravitate towards the underdog?
My reality,
Yeah.
born in the Soviet Union, kind of learned English in Edison, New Jersey, was a bad student, wasn't the greatest at sports, so the world was always kind of telling me, you're not gonna make it, and I had this incredible mother and father and kind of natural self-belief, and was very fortunate that the thing that I was great at was entrepreneurship and business, which is a very viable way to live life.
Is that something you taught yourself, would you say?
I think a lot of it was natural DNA. When you're 5 or 6 or 7 years old and you're selling lemonade on Tingley Lane or Oak Tree Road, or shoveling snow, or flipping baseball cards in John Adams Middle School. We're being very Edison nerdy here.
Totally, nobody else knows, but we know.
My mom wasn't pushing entrepreneurship on me. It wasn't in culture the way it is now. I didn't read any books. It was just so in me. And I think that's why I love athletes, professional singers. I think there's certain things in society where it's obvious to people that people are just born to be it. For me, that's what entrepreneurship was. I think we're in the era right now where everybody wants to be an entrepreneur.
Right, it's a very hot buzzword.
But for me
now.
in the 80s, being a bad student, that wasn't cool.
Right.
But I still gravitated the way an athlete gravitates. And I've always had that connection with sports.
That's really interesting. I feel like I'm learning a lot about you, Gary.
Thank you.
So I want to ask you about what you're doing with the US Open and the NFTs. Can you explain a little bit?
Yes, thank you for knowing that. I've gone pot committed into NFT life. Had my own project in VeeFriends, and then with the success of that, stood up a company called Vayner NFT, where we're consulting brands like Pepsi, like Budweiser, like the US Open on their NFT programs. This one's exceptionally exciting. Venus Williams, Billie Jean King, Andy Roddick. incredible tokens of collectability and even access to those icons.
Yeah.
If you buy the one of one. Incredible launch. It's gone extremely well. It's still on sale if you want to find it. And we're really proud of it. And it's fun to see the US Open be a first mover in such a new space.
Yeah.
And it's been fun to see a lot of tennis fans. You know, I constantly read Twitter and social media, and a lot of people have bought their first ever NFT with the US Open NFT, and so
cool.
It's fun to be part of that history.
Well, so for those of you at home who don't know, NFT stands for non-fungible token.
Very good.
I'm going to have you
Me explain
it in 30 seconds.
If you've ever bought a skin on Fortnite or a power-up in a video game, you know what an NFT is. This is just for the whole world. It's owning a digital asset, which is a new concept.
Yeah.
But so was having a website. So was having a social media account. These were new ideas in '95 and 2005. This is the newest one. Most of the people here aren't ready, comfortable, or understand the idea of owning something just digitally.
Right.
But it will be common practice in a decade.
I mean, I feel like this kind of harkens back to you selling baseball cards a little bit.
Baseball cards, comic books, and then my main career was wine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In my early age, I built a very large wine business for my family liquor store in Springfield, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And the reason I was passionate about it was because people collected wine. So to your point, the concept of collectability, even sneakers.
Yeah.
You know,
which, by the way, everyone check these out.
What you wear, what you drive, how you roll. We as human beings use physical things to communicate our status, who we are, facial hair, clothes. I look at everybody behind the cameras right now. I have a sense of them just on what they wear, how they wear their hair or facial hair. Digital assets are the scaled version of that. It's one of the biggest reasons I believe in NFTs.
So I'm going to pivot a little bit to your social media, because obviously there are people across the world who I think they kind of look to you as like a guru, like somebody to follow. Like, when did that become a big thing for you, and how do you think it's become such a success?
In 2006, I was running the family wine business, and I saw YouTube and Twitter, and I said, these are going to be huge.
Yeah.
And so I started making content about wine.
Oh.
And it exploded. I had a comfort with the camera that I didn't know I had. I was already 31 years old, so it wasn't of mine to be a personality, but I went all in. I believed in it, and then somewhere around 3 or 4 years later, I wanted to talk about other things besides wine.
Right.
And I wrote a book called Crush It that basically predicted a lot of what the world is now running on.
Aha.
And that book went crazy, was a 1-year New York Times best-selling book, and I started giving speeches, and my career changed. And really all I am today is a byproduct of incredible mothering, all the life lessons that my mom taught me, and really not just mothering, also really the streets of New Jersey and the world, right? I was taught by my mom and by the streets. And that is my content today. That is what I talk about. I talk about accountability, compassion. My mom is incredibly kind. I think I'm a very unique voice in the business world around empathy, kindness.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, things that people don't normally talk about. And then on the other hand, I talk about accountability and self-awareness. And so it's positivity, but it's practical.
Right.
We're not in the business of 8th place trophies. This is real life, and I think people gravitate towards it.
Well, so you mentioned your first book. I did notice on your social that you were doing some voiceovers for a new book.
Yes, today as a matter of fact.
Can you tell us about that one?
November 16th, a new book called 12 and a Half comes out, leveraging the emotional ingredients for business success.
Okay.
I really am passionate about this unique place I think I sit in the business world, which is, I don't think that people think that, curiosity or empathy are superpowers.
Right.
I think people think sharp elbows, tough negotiator. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I don't see the business world that way.
No.
I see it from a framework of a lot of soft skills, and so it's a book of why I think emotionally intelligent soft skills are actually the alpha skills in today's business world.
Well, if the entire business world looked at the world that way, I feel like we would be in a better place.
I believe that to be true.
So I have to ask you, you seem like you don't sleep very much. Do you get to take a vacation?
I do, and by the way, on the record, I have high energy when I'm awake, but I'm a big 7-8 hour. Yeah, I think I'm about sleep. I like sleep. I just like being very productive and on when I'm awake.
Yeah.
And I love I love this time of year because everyone's checked out.
Yeah.
I only have anxiety when I know the world is on when I'm not.
Yeah.
So I take the vacations when everyone else is taking vacations.
That's called FOMO.
Yes, the only, FOMO for me of like fun things like at the US Open or Ibiza or parties, never. FOMO of like, oh, other people are being productive when I'm not,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's why you're so successful, Gary. So I have to ask you, where do you go when you go on vacation?
I'm a very completely being checked out guy, meaning beach, no Wi-Fi, like out. Like
Yeah.
just being completely off the grid. That's how I like to do it.
Yeah. Is there anywhere in particular you usually go?
Turks and Caicos,
Beautiful.
Mykonos, those are two
Yeah.
places that stand out for me.
I mean, two of the best.
Two of the best.
Well, I hope you get to go on vacation soon, but the vacation is not happening right now because we are about to play tennis takedown. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
They're cheering for you. Do you
I hear
that?
it. Thank you, crowd.
All right, so let me tell you the rules real quick. So there's going to be 1 minute on the clock. We asked 100 fans on the grounds these
Okay.
5 questions.
Okay.
You want to guess the most popular
I know that
answer.
game. Go ahead.
Yeah. So first question, what's the most romantic place at the US Open?
The fountain.
What's the best place to vacation?
Paris.
What's the best beverage to drink while watching tennis?
Honeydews.
Name the active tennis player you'd most like to meet.
I hate this answer, but I'm sure it's Roger Federer.
What do you love most about yourself?
That I'm kind.
All right, so I think you are going to be the winner right now, but we're gonna check. So we asked you what's the most romantic place at the US Open. Survey, you said fountains. Survey says, top answer, 46 points. We asked what the best place to vacation is. You said France. Survey says, 0.
Nobody said Paris?
Crazy, out of 100 people.
That's insane.
I know,
New York is so anti-France.
I know. It's because we have clashing personalities.
I kind of like that. I'm actually happy right now. Keep going.
All right, we asked you what's the best beverage to drink while watching tennis. You said honeydews. This survey says it's on the board, 12, but top answer was beer. We asked you to name the active tennis player you'd most like to meet. You did say Federer. Survey says ding, ding, ding. Top answer with 32 points. And final question, what do you love most about yourself? You said your kindness. I want to give it to him because the top answer was personality.
Interesting.
42 points. Somebody give me a number. What did Garyvee score? 132. You are sitting at the top of the leaderboard. We are going to get you any US Open swag you want.
I love it. Thank you for having me so much.
I have no authority to give
Cheers.
that.
YouTube watcher, what's up? It's Garyvee. First of all, thank you so much. I hope you're doing super well during these times. I also want to ask you, please subscribe because my commitment and exploration of YouTube is about to explode. Stories, polls, more content, more engagement, more surprise and delight. This is the time to subscribe. I hope you consider it, and I hope I see you soon.